So I'm here today to present to you Olympic National Park, and this was actually done by Chaney, and he says it was established in 1859. I just looked, that can't be right because Yellowstone was our first one in the late 1800s, but it's been a park for a long time. Okay, so here's where it's located. It's in the state of Washington, and it is right on the coastline, which is important in his landscape explanation. And one thing that is incredible about Olympic National Park is it's kind of like three parts in one. You have the Olympic mountain range. You have a temperate rainforest. I know that sounds kind of weird. We're used to tropical rainforest. Temperate rainforest just means that they get lots of rain, but that their temperatures are moderate instead of tropical. So again, we've got landscape views of the Hurricane Ridge area, which is part of the Olympic Mountains, a temperate rainforest, and then also you have the beach, which is protected as part of Olympic National Park. But for Cole's landscape explanation, he's actually focused on the mountain building there. And so the mountains here didn't start to form until between 5 and 20 million years ago. And so that would be very recent in the history of our planet for mountain building. And it formed as the American plate and the Juan de Fuca plate hit each other. The Juan de Fuca plate is oceanic, so it subducted to form the mountains. Now here's the catch. The mountains are too close to the coast to be volcanic. So like what's happening then is inland about 100 miles, you do have volcanoes from that, but instead you just had more of like the continental convergent action. So mountain building, but you needed more space for the subduction to mountain to magma. Now he did connect this to Japan because it was also a subduction zone. So when we type here, we're going to type mountain building as our dominant force just because it's too close to the coast. There's not enough room for the sinking and the melting into magma. Now, his attractions are awesome. So this is the temperate rainforest I was mentioning. It's called the Hoh Rainforest, which is a Native American term. When you walk through, I've been here, it's incredible because the trees are very fuzzy, as you can see, and everything there, because of the amount of rainfall, happens fast. So growth happens fast, but decomposition and decay happens very fast too, and you see evidence of that. So if you ever get to go, you have to go to the Hoh Rainforest. Now, the mountainous part there is called Hurricane Ridge, and there is a visitor center way up there. These are the mountains that Cole was saying were formed at the edge of that subduction zone. And then his final attraction, he put in Lake Crescent. Sometimes people type in the name Ruby Beach or Rialto Beach if you want more of a coastline, but you can see his Lake Crescent is more inland. Okay, so creatures in his park and plant life. So this is a lichen festoon tree, so that's in the Hoh Rainforest. These are called spike mosses. Those would be non-vascular plants, and they're all over the place in the rainforest there. And then also he has ferns. Okay, and then his creatures. He says, are black-tailed deer. I said, Cole, to me that looks more like a horse, but maybe not. Maybe it's a deer. A mountain lion. And then these are awesome. These are called marmots. And he actually has put a video in here that does a really good summary of the attractions and the wildlife, and you'll get to hear a marmot here. Okay, enjoy. So I thought that gave you just a great sense of Olympic National Park and how it's kind of three parks at one. Now, Cole's current event, at first I was a little saddened by it, and then I started to understand. So 400 mountain goats were removed from the park because they're trying to relocate them. They actually are not native to the Olympic Mountains. They're native to the Cascade Mountains that are more inland. And so the population was dwindling where they were native, and they were out competing the creatures in the Olympic National Park. But 75 of the 400 actually died in the process. So they actually were, there's pictures of it, airlifting them out with a helicopter, and some of them were, on the real rugged terrain and fell to their death. Some of them were sick and had to be euthanized. So sad, but potentially necessary. There was some debate about that. And then his his reflection, the most interesting thing he learned was how the mountains were formed. And if he went, he would want to visit the mountainous area, which is known as Hurricane Ridge. So pause me if you need to, but if you're ready, let's start typing in your presentation chart. So this is Olympic National Park. Here's Cole's name, Kolton, Kolton, and it's in the state of Washington, right on the coast. Now, our dominant force to shape the land, for sure, mountain building. And then things you might want to see or do. I think you're crazy not to get a picture of this one in there. It was fantastic. The whole rainforest, HOH is how you spell it. In the mountainous area, Hurricane Ridge. There's Lake Crescent. But if you want to get a beach, kind of like what was in that picture, if you type Ruby Beach, Olympic National Park, you'll get a really gorgeous coastline. So you rank it based on how much you would like to visit this park and potentially make it your dream trip, part of your dream trip, your top 5 at the end of